I don't give a fuck if you think I'm sober or not. My name's Nicole Pludre. I'm a person in long-term recovery with 8.5 years sober, and I use Suboxone as a tool in my recovery tool belt. I've been on Suboxone for 8.5 years, and it helped save my life. And I want you, if you're thinking, oh, I need to say something, I need to say you're not sober, or if that popped into your mind, you're not in recovery, Nicole, or if you're sitting there going, I can't get sober, I'm struggling, I want you to stop and watch this video. Please watch this video. For 10 years, I went in and out of residential rehab programs. For 10 years, I was in and out of sober living facilities. For 10 years, I was in and out of the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. For 10 years, they told me that I needed to be completely abstinent from all drugs and alcohol, that if I put these drugs and alcohol in my body, I would have an allergy and I would lose control and I would become completely powerless and these drugs would rule my life and I couldn't make proper choices for myself. And for years, I fell for this. I believed the bullshit that they were spouting to me in AA, NA, and in these rehab centers. Until the rubber hit the road and I lost custody of my child in 2015 and I went into rehab. I graduated from rehab, and while I was in rehab getting off of everything, my husband was out here in the real world working a job, and he had gotten off all drugs, but he had gotten on maintenance medication, Suboxone. He picked me up from treatment that day and he told me that he was on Suboxone, and I was pissed. I said, you're just trading addictions. You don't really want to be sober. You're choosing drugs over me and your son. You don't really care about us. You're trying to work the system. And for the next week, I sat there and I struggled, and I watched my husband go to work, function, and not struggle with the thoughts of using and triggers and obsession of the mind. And so he said, let me take you down to see Dr. Mancino. Just talk to him, see what he says. So he took me to the doctor, and that doctor sat me down, and this is what he said to me. He said, tell me about your past experiences. I said, well, my past experiences are I've been to over 10 rehab centers, over 10 sober livings, and every time I go to these places, I come out, and about 6 to 7 months later, I relapse every single time like clockwork. And that's when he looked me dead in my eyes and he said, why do you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? Why do you keep going into these treatment centers expecting to come out and stay sober if you've gone into these treatment centers and done the programs, if you've gone to these AA meetings and gotten sponsors and worked the steps and read your big book and went to the meetings and said your prayers and your meditation and had a higher power and all the things? Why are you expecting a different result if the result that you are getting every single time is that you relapse around 6 to 7 months? He said, why don't you give yourself a chance and try something different? What? Nobody had even ever told me that there was a different way other than abstinence, AA, NA recovery. I didn't even know that there was another pathway that I could opt, the options. That day, my life was saved because I was given another option, and I took it. And I got on Suboxone, and I've been sober with no relapses ever since 8.5 years later. I went from having over 16 years of addiction and struggling and going in and out of rehabs, overdosing multiple times. I was in a coma for 7 days, and my mother and father had to come see me in the hospital because I was in a coma. Because I was dying, because I was in a coma from drug-induced coma, from taking too many drugs. My internal organs began to shut down. I got on Suboxone, I got into therapy, walked away from the abstinence-only recovery mindset, started sharing what actually helped me change my life. So if you're somebody who has found yourself in the position and you have been doing the same thing over and over again, why do you keep doing it if it's not working for you? Because everybody tells you that's the way? If you need help and you want to try something different, let me know. I will help you. All you have to do is reach out to me. The link to Recovery Delivered is in my bio. You can get started on mat treatment as early as tomorrow if they have an open appointment for you. Okay? Tell them I sent you. My name is Nicole, Nicole. They'll give you 50% off your first appointment. It'll only be about $49 to get started with your first appointment. I'm telling you guys right now, I bumped my head against the wall for 10 years going in and out of these programs, and I never received the kind of help that I got when I got on a medication that quieted my mind. My mind was constantly obsessing over using and getting drugs. When I got on Suboxone, it shut the voices off in my mind, and it gave me a chance to heal my body and to get better and to get into therapy and to develop new coping skills and new positive, healthy habits. So I just really wanted to share that with you guys. Okay? I tried for years and I was unsuccessful. And so if you found yourself in that same position, you're not alone. Only about 10%, and that's a generous amount, of people are able to get sober through abstinence-only sobriety. The other 90% of us need extra help. And if that's you, don't be ashamed. You're not alone. Knowing is half the battle. Reach out for help. Click the link in my bio. Check out Recovery Delivered. I've been working with them for years. I use them myself. They are amazing. And so I just really wanted to say this because after my last couple of videos about Suboxone, I feel like it's really important. That's why and how I got on Suboxone and what all I've been through. So hopefully that will help you.